So currently I'm underneath the Honda. I'm showing you guys a picture of my exhaust. So I put this exhaust in recently, probably a couple weeks ago. I got it from eBay. It's a nice $160 eBay exhaust. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty loud, I would say. It's probably the loudest exhaust I've ever heard. I knew it was going to be loud. I didn't know this loud. I don't mind it though, other than the rattles. Because this exhaust, these rattles, they keep coming back, and I need to lose the rattles because they drive me absolutely nuts. So this exhaust system right here is full stainless from the headers to the collectors, and this right here is my cat delete pipe. So I wanted to delete the cat because I'm going to be tuning this car pretty soon, and when I do, if I decide to run the car rich, I don't want to take out the catalytic converter because I will have to pass emissions at some point. So I saved the cat for later. We'll put that in when we need to do emissions. But I found the source of my rattle. I'm just going to try to roll back over here. But this pipe right here, I think when I hit bumps or the exhaust rattles at or vibrates at a certain frequency, this pipe. So I can't show you this rattle right now because right now with the car jacked up back there, what happens is the control arm comes down in such a way that it pushes on the exhaust pipe, and that moves the pipe away from the shield right here, and that is the shield that the exhaust rubs on. So you really can't hear the rattle that I'm talking about right now, but you can imagine it's not nice. And I feel like a lot of Hondas sound bad because of rattles. Like you hear a Honda go by and it's really loud and you're like, wow, that sounds really rattly. And so I kind of want mine to not sound rattly. That's my goal. So I'm going to try to bend that shield a little bit out of the way. Then I'll lower the car back down in the rear just to see if we fix that rattle. Up here I've been taking a look at where my oil leak was. And as you can see right here, there is no leak out of this oil filter. So I know that means my problem is all fixed there. And so my only leak now is coming on this oil pan, and it's dripping down. So I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from originally, whether it's higher than the oil pan and coming down to it, whether it's something underneath this front cover. I did replace all the seals behind the timing cover previously, so I don't think it's one of those seals, but it could be. So I'm going to have to get under there and find out at some point. So I did a little bending on the exhaust, and I think that I might have fixed the rattle. We'll just have to see once I lower the car back down. We'll find out. I'll have to take it for a drive. But up here I have the Pcv valve, which is this guy right here. And not really trying to fix anything with this, but it's always a good thing to look at when you have a car that hasn't been serviced. So a little bit about the history of this car. I'll try not to bore you guys too much, but basically when we bought this car, the guy said it needed nothing. And he said, as long as you do the maintenance on it, it'll run forever. So we said, okay, when's the last time the timing belt was changed? And he was like, timing belt? What? So we knew that this guy didn't know anything about servicing a vehicle. He just changed the oil, I think. So this car hadn't seen service in a long time. So we did the timing belt, did all the seals in there. And yeah, I'm just going through and checking every service item that could possibly be faulty with the car. So this PCV valve here, pretty easy. I already loosened this hose clamp, so this hose clamp can just slide off like that, and then it may take a little bit of force. You may have to stick a screwdriver in there, but don't tear the hose. And this guy pops out of here like this, and then with a little bit of effort you'll be able to get it out of this hose, which I already did. So here's your PCV, and what this guy does is it allows the crankcase to vent
positive pressure. So when you, during combustion, you create pressure in your crankcase, and that pressure's got to leave. So it leaves through this PCV valve and goes through this little hose and into your intake, where you would burn off any of the fumes that are coming out of your crankcase. But sometimes these PCV valves can get clogged with either carbon buildup or just sludged oil in there. So what you want to do, we'll see if you're able to detect it on camera, but I'm going to shake it. I don't think you'll be able to hear that, but it does rattle slightly. You want to shake it and listen for it up next to your ear. And if it rattles, that's a good sign. You want it to rattle because there's a little valve in there. But if it does not rattle, then you need to clean it or replace it. So this rattles a little bit, but I think it could rattle more. So I'm going to try to clean it. Not really much that it's going to do for me, other than I can just know that that part is working properly. So now that I've got my PCV valve, I'm holding it over the oil pan here, and I'm about to spray some of this throttle body and intake cleaner in here. And you don't need a ton, but I'm going to probably use a ton. But yeah, if you just spray it in here like this, you can see it's coming out the other side. But now if you listen, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear that. This PCV is much more freed up. The valve in there is moving a lot easier. So that's good. I think it'll be able to more adequately get rid of the crankcase pressure. So I'm glad I didn't waste my time, and maybe you guys learned something. So it's the following day, and I got a couple of things in the mail today. This right here is my OBD2 to OBD1 conversion harness, because I'm planning on swapping over my ECU from an OBD2 to OBD1, because Honda made their OBD1 ECUs chippable. So when you put a chip in there, that's actually what allows you to tune the car. So I'm going to get one of those ECUs. It's coming. It's on the way. It's going to come with a base map for my car in it. So that's pretty exciting. That should get here soon. So this is for converting my system to the old system. What I also have here is a set of LED taillights that are also brake lights on this car, because this car has a dual filament bulb. So it's a two-stage bulb. When it sees an input from the taillights, it's on, but when it sees a brake input, it comes on brighter so that people know that you're braking. I had one bulb go out on me, and so whenever I have a bulb go out, I typically take that as a time to upgrade to LEDs, because they last longer and they're brighter. I get it mainly for the looks, but they also do last longer, so that's nice. And they draw less current, so that's also very nice. But my concern with these lights right here is there's an indicator on the inside of the car that lets you know when you have a brake light out. And so I think that since these are not going to show up as a load on the circuit, the indicator might think that I have a brake light out at all times, and it might flash that indicator at me all the time. So that would annoy me. So I may have to find a workaround for that, whether it's wiring in a load resistor that acts as a bulb to trick the system into thinking there's a bulb in this circuit, or something else. I'll have to install these and see where to go from there. So obviously I think you all know how to change brake lights, but relatively easy. This is the bulb that was working. I'm going to just take it out. Put our new bulb in. There we go. Snaps in. Let me go turn on the tail lights and the brake lights. The tail lights should be on right now. And when I tap the brake, the lights should get brighter. I'm sure it did, because it looks like the light is on right now. So I'm going to stick this back in its socket, and then we'll be able to compare it to the other side. I'll put the working bulb in the other side. So right now you may or may not be able to tell, but this is the difference between the taillights. The right taillight is on, the left taillight is on. You can tell that this one is the LED. When I tap on the brake lights, you should be able to see that the LED is much brighter. And I like that because you're much less likely to get hit if you've got some very bright taillights, especially if you have tinted taillights, which I'm not sure if I'll do that to this car. I haven't made up my mind yet. At this point, I'll just update you guys on a few things. The exhaust system still rattles. I didn't fix it, so I'm going to have to get under there and try something else. Probably save that for another day, but yeah. We'll see what else is to come for the car. That ECU should get here hopefully soon, and I'll be putting that in. It should have a base map for the F22 B2 that's in the car, so we'll see. Hopefully it runs. We won't actually be able to tune it until I get either a chip burner, or I'm thinking about getting a Mo8's Ostrich V2, which allows you to do real-time programming and real-time tuning. So I could actually tune the car in real time, not have to burn to a chip. So I could have the laptop in the car and tune it while I drive around. Obviously not while I'm driving, but I'll pull over, make an adjustment, and then do another pull or whatever. So that'll be cool to have the real-time ability. I'll probably will do that. It seems fun. Chip burners seems like a bit of a pain, but yeah. As far as the mailman's car, I think tomorrow I'll be doing the brakes on this thing. The kit's coming in tomorrow for his car, so we should be able to do his rear brakes. He wanted a bit of a performance brake, so we went with the Amazon Power Stop series. It's the same brakes that I put on my truck, and I like them. It's a ceramic pad with a cross-drilled and slotted rotor. I would say the rotors don't matter so much because, you know, he's not going to race the car, and that's really only when cross-drilled rotors matter and slotted rotors. But the brake pads are ceramic, so they'll require a break-in procedure. But I'll explain all that in the video I do of the brake swap on this 350Z. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll see you next time. Still got to fix that taillight. I'm planning on waiting till it gets dark, and then I'll take one more shot of the taillights on the Honda. So I'll leave you guys with that. Till next time.